I'd like to start by thanking the organizers who've put on a wonderful event and to everybody in the audience who's spending their time and energy to be here. Now, in my 16 years of working with people, whether it's students, whether it's children, adults, young adults, entrepreneurs, or even senior management, I have noticed something fascinating. No matter the age or the background, I feel people can be put into two categories when it comes to growth: the workers and the performers. And it's not good or bad. It's not smart or not so smart. In fact, two different mindsets, two ways of living, two approaches to personal growth. Both can be talented, both can be hardworking, but only one consistently creates impact. Now, I want you to think about your own life for a moment. Think about your relatives, your colleagues, your friends. Is there someone who does exactly what's asked of them? And compared to that, is there someone who goes out of their way to help, to create, to vocalize their thoughts and opinions, even when things feel uncertain, especially when no one asks them to? This difference shows up everywhere. It shows up in school, shows up in college, in job, also in your family responsibilities. One approach keeps you safe, while the other maximizes your true potential. Let me explain. Now, a worker mindset is the mindset people slip into even without realizing. When things get difficult, when things are uncertain, when they are unsure, that's when they get into the worker mindset. You do what you're asked. You wait to be told what to do next. You follow routine. And you try to avoid anything that exposes you to judgment, to failure, or to any sort of discomfort. Whether it's school project, whether it's a college committee, a job role, or even a family responsibility, you wait to be told what to do. Then what ends up happening is you wait for clarity. You wait for permission. You wait for success to come to you. You wait for opportunities to magically fall onto your lap. But the thing about that is, opportunities don't fall onto your lap if you wait. You have to go and fetch them. Now, this is the comfort zone where you like to play it safe. You wait for clarity and for permission. You wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel ready. Take action and then make it perfect. Then there's the performer mindset. And this is where the performer mindset is very different. A performer steps forward despite uncertainty. They volunteer before someone asks. They try something new even when they don't have all the answers. They take on unfamiliar and difficult tasks. When others say, I don't know what to do, so I will not try, a performer says, I may not have all the answers right now, but I will give it a shot. This willingness to stay in discomfort is resilience. A worker also hesitates to put themselves out there. They avoid showcasing their abilities. They shy away from social interactions or anything that gives them visibility. They believe that my work should speak for itself. What a delusional thought for the 21st century. They might complete tasks, but they don't document their wins. They don't send summaries. They don't highlight their progress. They don't share their results. With this, what's happening? The value that they bring to the table remains invisible. And this is where a performer, they understand that visibility is the new currency. They shine in visibility. They understand that this is not showing off, but this is showing growth. They track their wins. They share their progress. They speak up in meetings. They do not stay silent. And then there's a difference in how these two mindsets learn. A worker only invests in what feels convenient, like watching videos, watching YouTube tutorials. But the thing about that is, that does not guarantee change in behavior. Convenient learning gives you information, but it does not give you transformation. Compared to a performer that chooses learning that expands them, that demands application of them, they don't mind putting in the extra effort because they know that there's more in the outcome. They're not just receiving information, they're looking for transformation. So where the worker survives, the performer adapts. Where the worker imagines, the performer implements. And this is where growth becomes real. Let's talk about the theme today. The theme today is rising through resilience. But resilience isn't this one dramatic moment of strength. In fact, in personality development, we don't develop resilience by talking about our hardships. We develop resilience by changing how we respond to everyday situations. And this is exactly where the differences between the two mindsets become very important. A worker protects themselves from discomfort. A performer uses discomfort as training. So every time you volunteer despite doubts, you strengthen your resilience. Every time you showcase your work despite judgment, you strengthen your resilience. Every time you try again despite failure, you strengthen your resilience. So take action over avoidance, express over silence, and always participate over safety, because that is how you train your resilience. That's how we evolve our personality, by constant exposure to challenge, to responsibility, to even mistakes. Now that we understand the core differences between the worker mindset and the performer mindset, a question arises, which is, why do so many people stay in the worker mindset? And you'd be surprised that the reasons are surprisingly human. It's not because of lack of talent. In my opinion, people are overflowing with potential. It's all about harnessing or channelizing that potential. In fact, people stay in the worker mindset for a few reasons. First and foremost, you hesitate. As soon as you feel any sort of discomfort, the first reaction is hesitation. Then there's the fear of failure. That what if I mess up? What will people think? Now the problem is, people don't fear failing. They fear being seen failing. And that brings me to the next point, which is fear of judgment. What will people think if I mess up? This has killed more dreams than lack of talent ever could. And then we don't put ourselves out there in a position where we can receive feedback, where we can be challenged, where we can be refined, because we like our comfort zone. And it's not that the performers are exceptionally gifted. In fact, they're just more resilient. They take initiative more, they try more, which is why they fail more, but then they recover faster. Now, let's talk about what do performers do differently. They act before they feel ready. Resilience comes after action, not before it. It's not something that we have. It's something that we build by constant exposure. So don't wait for the right time or the perfect condition. Just start and then make it right. Then performers, they show their work. They don't hesitate from showing what they're inputting into the company. And this is what performers understand brilliantly. They know how to give their work a stage. Then performers choose learning that changes them. I'm sorry to say this, but scrolling on the internet is not learning. Watching videos on YouTube is not growth, because that is not information that we're implementing right now. So choose learning that expands you, that demands something of you, that demands instant action, and something that you can implement. Next, Performers, they build strength through people. Now we all understand that as humans, we're not lone warriors. Growth cannot happen in isolation. So performers, they surround themselves with peers, with people that support them, that guide them, that refine them. And finally, performers, they lift others rise too. Helping others grow creates a very unique perspective. It lets you know how far you've come. So always ensure that people around you are growing as well so that you can strengthen your foundation yourself. Now I'm going to leave you with one final thought. Most people think resilience is something you discover when life knocks you down. But actually, resilience is something you build way before that. So stop avoiding discomfort. Otherwise, you'll weaken your resilience. Stop shying away from showing the value that you bring to the table. Stop waiting to be told what to do. That's the worker mindset, and not because it's wrong, but because it chooses safety over strength. And the worker mindset does the complete opposite. Not because life is easier for them, but because they understand that they train themselves to make the right choices every time, to respond differently. A worker survives change, while a performer is shaped by change. A worker waits for confidence. A performer moves first and lets confidence catch up. And over time, these small choices, they compound into something more incredible, which gives you a personality that can handle discomfort, that can handle change, even with a positive outlook. So that's what rising through resilience actually looks like. A series of visible, courageous action that slowly rewires who you really are. Thank you.